I am here with Brian Turner. You might recognize him. I'm sure you guys already know him and his story, but thank you so much, Brian, for being on the channel.
I'm stoked.
And I just wanted to ask a few questions
I'm
to
here.
help our,
I'm an open
to
book.
help our followers.
Let's do it.
For you guys who don't know, Brian is you've struggled with acne for a really long time.
Definitely.
We kind of have similar skincare stories about like our acne struggle. You're also a bodybuilder, right?
I try.
Bodybuilder, fitness fiend, and you're also vegan.
Yep.
You also have a podcast.
Yep.
And a merch line, right?
You're
merch
on
line?
it. You know more than I do.
Am I missing anything?
Yeah, I know, right? No, you got it all.
Okay, got it. First question. Top 3 skincare pieces of advice. Go.
Definitely. Number 1 for me, dairy. That was what caused my cystic acne. As soon as I took that out, I saw a huge improvement. So I would say definitely that. Number 2, I would say better sleep and or lowering the amount of stress. So getting better sleep can help with stress, but when your cortisol is up, at least for me, I've had, I guess I'd call them like stress breakouts. So that definitely has helped a lot. And then number 3, it's hard because now I'm like excluding all of 4 and beyond. So maybe I would say whole foods instead of processed foods.
Wow.
Because I think a lot of us like to pop and crack open things a lot. We're really used to that, but things that are like high in salt, high in sugar, high in fat, very processed, and lots of oils, those things break you out. It's actually scientifically proven through something called mTOR in your blood. But for me, the more whole foods I eat, the better my skin is.
Wow, that's great. So it's mostly diet for you.
Definitely.
It seems like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So diet. So if you have acne, if you're going through any kind of skin issues, diet. Look through your labels. Look through what you're eating. I mean, for me, sugar was huge. Like cutting out sugar allowed my hormones to regulate better. And you wouldn't believe, like, sugar is in everything. Like, even granola bars you think are healthy.
Addicted to it. Our culture is so sugar laden.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yogurt, I don't even drink orange juice now. Like, I'll like limit it because it has so much sugar, right? Like things you think are healthy have so much sugar. So you gotta like do your research and look at the ingredient list and make sure you know what you're putting in your body because it's gonna show up on your skin.
100% agree.
Question 2, what piece of advice would you give for somebody who is at their deepest, darkest moment with their skin? Like they don't wanna leave their house. They don't wanna talk to anyone.
Yeah, definitely been there. And I get that question asked a lot. And basically what I just tell people is, yes, it is super dark. It is super hard. There's not a lot you can do right now other than to just start taking action of some sort. Whether that just be like the smallest little step, maybe just going out to the grocery store when you feel uncomfortable. You know, a lot of people will just lock themselves in their room, they become reclusive, and then they just don't do anything. And if you just take small steps, I know it might sound stupid, like go to the grocery store instead of ordering it and having it delivered to you, but just 5 minutes out in public, and then maybe go to the gym really late at night, but go to the gym. Don't keep yourself out of the gym because you don't want anyone to see you. You just make these small steps, and then you have your little safety zone, your little tiny circle that you feel comfortable in, and you kind of expand it a little bit more.
Gradually.
And in those little steps, make it so that you feel more comfortable doing more and more until eventually you're like, you know what? I went there a little bit earlier at the gym today, and there was a lot more people. And you know what? I actually realized it didn't affect me at all. My workout was still good.
I love that, like small steps. And I think that's really what creates change is tiny little steps. And I actually call it like a muscle. Like you start with 2-pound weights, then 5 pounds, then 10 pounds.
So true.
So it doesn't have to be like a heroic thing that you're doing. Just talking to someone or, even making a YouTube video or doing something on social media, sharing a little bit of vulnerability can, help with that muscle. And even when I think about it, like, I honestly cannot remember the last time I saw somebody with acne. Like when someone walks by me, I don't think like, I don't remember if they have acne or not,
Right.
Like I don't think of that. And I think it just shows that we are so critical of ourselves.
Seriously.
Like, yeah, I can remember like the last cute person I saw or like someone's really cool outfit or like really weird outfit, but I don't look at like all the little things on their skin. So most likely no one is even noticing or cares.
By far, we are our own biggest judges.
Right.
And we're also, this thing I always like to say with acne, is we're looking at the mirror this close to it. Right? No one is this close to you analyzing your skin. So you're making, yes, your problem is there. I definitely agree. But you are exaggerating it in your own brain when you really don't need to.
What are some daily habits you have or what are some habits you do every day to feel like you can be the best version of yourself? Or do you have any habits or tricks or routines that you do?
Yeah. Start every day by drinking water. I know it sounds stupid. Like a lot of that things that I'll tell you with tips are going to be like, yeah, obviously. But think about it. Did you start today with water, or did you start it with like coffee or something like that? Drinking a big thing of water will make you feel so much better. Also, I've already harped on it a little bit, but sleep is so important. I think a lot of us will be like, well, I can get a little bit more done if I don't sleep. But you'll actually have higher production, a higher quality of your actions if you slept better that day. And again, I feel like a lot of these I'm going to say like multiple times, but eating whole foods instead of processed foods, there's like, you think about how many calories are in things, but you don't really think that often about how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And if you're operating on weird, like, little snacks and Cheetos and stuff like that all day and energy drinks and stuff like that, it's not going to be the best you that you could be. And then I guess I would also say exercise. I know I'm like a bodybuilder guy, so I'm telling you to exercise, but I mean any exercise. Even if you just do like 10, 15 minutes of cardio, you release a lot of endorphins, your serotonin, dopamine gets regulated in a proper way. That makes you feel better, in a better mood. And people always ask me like, why are you in such a good mood? And it's like, working out, it definitely helps me kind of regulate my emotions and also just regulate my energy levels. Yeah, I think those are some of the tips. I could go on forever about like how to be a happier person or how to like be a more productive person. That's something that I've worked on a lot in like the last couple of years. But yeah, I'd say those are kind of some good like starting points from there. Yeah.
What kind of workouts do you do? Or
yeah, like I used to start with kind of like basic stuff. I'm 11 years into it, and so I compete, and so I do pretty hardcore workouts. I do 6 workouts a week, and then I take one day off a week. But they're definitely like bodybuilding, weightlifting workouts. But I definitely think, doing some calisthenics and stuff like that it'll do heaps for you. And especially as you get older, your body needs to have good posture and stuff. And a lot of people, you probably notice it right now, you're watching it right now, your shoulders probably rounded. And it's because,
Good.
Yep. You got to get those muscles. You got to get those stabilizers going and stuff. You don't need to go in there and go bench and squat 500 pounds, but you do need to do a little bit of core work here and there, get your glutes to actually fire, things like that, and it'll make you feel better not being in pain.
You've had acne, and then you had acne scars.
Yes.
So what were some of the treatments you've tried for acne scars, and pros and cons of each, if our audience wants to try them?
With me, my acne was super severe. I had really bad cystic acne, like probably 5 or 6 at any point of time. And luckily, my genetics somehow kind of got me on the other side mostly unscathed, where I feel like...
Wow, because you don't really have like
not
scars.
Too bad.
Like I wouldn't be able to tell like if I saw him like that you had acne or anything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like if I had an overhead light, you'd be able to see some of like kind of the rolling scars on my cheeks.
Oh, okay.
But also for me, honestly, I kind of like the way the scars look, because I feel like on people's face it kind of looks like a little bit of character, Like how you're saying you don't notice acne on people. For me, I notice it, but in a good way. I'm like, ooh, I mess with you. Like I know what you're talking about. I know how you feel, and you're probably a good person because of it.
Because you've gone through difficulty.
Exactly.
In your life.
It's character building.
That's so funny.
So I didn't go through the gamut of things like I did with acne, where I tried every single thing in the world. With acne scars, kind of went the basic route. Retin-A, I started with that, and then ultimately the one that I really did was Dermapen. So I went and got the actual treatment. Very expensive. I think it was like $400 a session.
Okay, and was that with the PRP from the blood, or
no?
What do they put on top?
It's like maybe so. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about.
Did they draw blood out?
No.
Okay, so
they did like a numbing cream, and then it was like a tattoo gun but without ink.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dermapen. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I did that, and I did that for 3 sessions.
Okay.
And I felt like I saw a good improvement, but in the initial like first couple months, I was like, I don't feel like I saw anything change, and I feel like it just took a long time, like 6 months or more, before I actually was able to start seeing the results kind of pop up.
Yeah, and actually you're lucky in that regard. For me, my acne wasn't it wasn't as bad as yours, but my skin scars, like
we were on the opposite side.
We're on the opposite
spectrum.
side. I know,
exactly.
because like every time I get a pimple, even to this day, it leaves a mark and it leaves a dent, and I'm like, oh my god, so I have to be really careful. Like if I get a pimple, like please God, don't have it scar, but usually it does scar. So my skin is very prone to scarring. So I guess that's why I developed Vanish, because I remember my mom, she would always say stuff like, okay, it's okay if you have acne, but don't have it scar. Like whatever you do, do everything in your power not to have it scar. And then when it does scar, you're like, what can I do to get rid of it? Because you feel like it's permanent. So
right, yeah, you do.
It all depends on your skin type. What is, okay, so Brian, what is your goal in life? Like what, if I were to ask you what question. Let's just go there, no playing around. What is, or we could talk about what is like your 5-year plan or your goal in life, like where do you see yourself, like what do you want to be doing with your life?
Yeah, I mean, I've been super fortunate because I started YouTubing 8 years ago, and I did it simply just because I was personal training people and I felt like I was answering the same questions all the time, so I didn't want to waste their session by answering the same questions. So I just made videos so I could send them over there. After about 6 months of putting these videos up, I had someone message me and he said, I lost 80 pounds from watching the videos that you uploaded on YouTube. And I was just like, that's crazy. I've never met this guy in my life. And 80 pounds is enough to change your whole life around. And so right there in that moment, I realized if I don't continue making videos, I'm not gonna, all the people that I would help in the future, that I would be helping by making content, I'm gonna basically, by not making videos, not help those people. And so that's like really the engine that's motivated me to continue going and going and going for 8 years. And luckily, it's actually worked, where I've built a big following and I've been able to help so many people. And the messages that I get sometimes, like, they blow my mind. The things that people will say, you know, have changed for them. They have people going through like extreme depression, like suicidal depression, and they say like, watching you be positive about your acne has made it so that I realize there's a light at the end of the tunnel, or I don't need to be 100% clear to be comfortable with myself or to make improvements in how I feel about myself. Exactly. And so I know there's a lot of other things I could probably touch on, like, you know, I want to make this much money, or I want to live here, or all those like kind of like, I guess, end goals that I could answer that question with. But mostly for me, the thing that makes me feel the best is not earning a Ferrari or a Lambo to go stunt on people with. For me, it's the amount of people that I help and the quality of the people that I help, you know, improve their lives. Like, that makes me feel so good. So I guess I'm kind of already doing it, but I would just like to do it in a better fashion, a bigger fashion. I'd like to start doing public speaking, whereas I do YouTube, so I want to keep growing that. But I'd like to do public speaking, and I don't know, just keep helping people. That's what makes me feel the best. That's great. You're living your dream life now, so keep on doing it. You're a great speaker. Thank you, I appreciate it. So great. Thank you so much, Brian, for being on my channel. And you can find Brian everywhere. Everywhere. No, we'll put all the links. Yeah, links below. It's just my name, Brian Turner. Great. So, thank you so much. Bye. Bye.